Oh, Living Way. Fancy meeting you here, Gaddis. Our friends in the forum brought us to see their teeny tiny boat. The teeny tiny toy boat, which was quite impressive considering they didn't use any creation magics. What we're really interested in is Etheirys itself, though we now find ourselves in sort of a funny underground miniaturized version of it. We were hoping the forum would give us a guided tour, but it appears they're rather preoccupied. Honestly, all that time to prepare and they're still not ready. I suppose we'll just have to show ourselves around, or at least that's what we were planning to do until we chanced upon Urianger and your good self. Since you're both dawdling about, engaging in idle chit-chat, perhaps you could show us a few points of interest. Won't that be fun? Man, your priorities though. Do we have time for this? Oh god, I guess we do. A tour of Labyrinthos, an unexpected yet prudent suggestion. Given the similarities betwixt this artificial environment and Bestaway's burrow, 'twould be in our best interest to have the Loporrits acquaint themselves with those conditions deemed optimal by their Sharlayan collaborators. I fear, however, that continued reliance upon my limited knowledge would risk narrowing rather than broadening their perspectives. Mayhap thou art better suited to lead this venture? What a marvelous idea! Might we begin with that great big what's-it over yonder? Ah, yes, the what's-it. I shall leave its explanation to Gaddis. What? Am I gonna have to make up something? What are they talking about the what's-it? That? The one that makes clouds and stuff? Goodness me! To build something so large without creation magics is positively stupendous. Perhaps you could direct our attention to its most important features? Okay. Oops. Tanks? It's a little hard to see from here, but is that a golden pipe connected to the top of those tanks? And I can see through that window pipe another pipe at the bottom. Ah, this must be for purifying water drawn up from below. Sure. I'm just gonna keep... Oh, a tube. Is that water I hear from inside that great big tube? It must be because of those cogs and that gigantic wheel at the top. Oh, I see. That's how they draw up the water. There's probably some sort of spiral-shaped mechanism inside it, too. Yeah! Of course, mushroom-like thing. What is my character saying? And that. That looks like the trees in the greatest Ensvale. Hold on, that's a bit of a strange shape. It's thin at the bottom, but big and round at the top. Quite tall for something so unbalanced, too. Now it makes sense. That's where they store the water. Yeah! Is that going to teach them about how to make that themselves? Well, if I were to hazard a guess, water drawn from underground, presumably with some other mechanism, is purified here and stored in that tower before being distributed elsewhere. I'm right, aren't I? I knew it! A design brilliant in its simplicity. I dare say it would only take a moment to install, even in the harshest of environments. For us Loporrits, that is. Indeed, securing a reliable source of water is of the utmost importance for any fledgling settlement. We've read, however, that people of Etheirys sometimes make their homes in arid deserts and such. How are they able to survive? Many settlements in Thanalan are built near an oasis. Areas near waterfalls are common sites for villages in Girvania. I mean, both are true, but I've seen a lot of oases. Oases? So wherever you choose to live, you're never far away from water. Oh dear, I worry we won't be able to procure the necessary amount. We can provide enough water to keep them from drying out completely, but it would appear they rely on it far more than we anticipated. A few adjustments may be in order once we've calculated the average rate of consumption per individual. Yeah, how do you resupply it? Do you have to purify people's, pee? It may also be worth learning more about how exactly they obtain their water in the first place. Master Alphino spoke of the machinery responsible for that feat during our journey through radz-at-han Alpha, did he not? Yeah. Mayhap the Loporrits will share his appreciation for the engineering marvel. Oh yes, that sounds absolutely splendid! We must journey beyond the sanctuary of Sharlayan Hamlet. I shall lead the way. You mean we'll have to brave the untamed wilderness? A valid concern indeed. We could not help but notice the many dangerous-looking creatures with big nasty teeth lurking beyond the safe confines of the settlement. What? There's enemies in your own base, too. Maybe they don't attack them. Were we not escorted here by burly custodians, I dread to think what would have become of us. Okay, so they're not fighters either. Regrettably, to many a hungry predator with the aforementioned big nasty teeth, Loporrits may appear to be a potential or rather appetizing source of sustenance. Might I impose upon thee to assist in securing safe passage to radz-at-han Alpha? For my part, I shall act as escort to Living Way and Cooking Way. I entrust Singing Way and Growing Way to thy care. Should be easy enough. A more valiant protector they could not wish for. Godspeed. If it's all the same to you, I'd rather not be eaten by some horrid beastie. Come along, Growing Way, to the water extraction, what's it? Of course. Thank you so much. I really hope this water extraction whatsit is worth these harrowing experiences. All part of the fun, some might say, but I'd rather not be burnt to a crisp if it's all the same to you. My friends, I bid you welcome to the radz-at-han Alpha. Our destination doth lie at the lift's top. Pray follow me. You know, all things considered, I think they toned down Urianger's speak. He's not quite as almost incomprehensible as he was before. He almost sounds normal sometimes. Marvelous, simply marvelous. So this is where the magic, or science rather, takes place. The perfect environment to sustain life, artificially created. The knowledge we'll gain here will be essential when we start looking for new stars for your kind to inhabit. Apparently, most of them don't even have air for you to breathe. You're all very lucky that Etheirys just so happens to provide everything you need to survive. Or did mankind turn out the way they are because of available resources, I wonder? Either way, it's nothing short of miraculous, and I cannot wait to see more of it. This is all very wonderful, I'm sure, but I was rather hoping to learn more about your nourishment provision facilities. In other words, where's the food? I believe both the knowledge and consumables you seek may be found at Merrill Ergonomics. As I imagine Singing Way and the others intend to study every conceivable facet of this apparatus, wouldst thou be so kind as to escort our visiting culinarian? Yes, that sounds much more interesting. Hopefully, I'll be able to see firsthand some of the delicacies Urianger was telling me about. Even his incredibly vivid, if a little too verbose, descriptions cannot compare to sampling them myself. Not to mention Etheirys will soon be no more, so I must learn all I can while there's still time. Let us brook no further delay. This is the place, yes? The heady aroma was enough to guide me here, and I've spotted several of the fruit and vegetables featured in our compendium. I'd dearly love to try some, but I read that those who help themselves to a farmer's crops without permission are often caught and put in pies. Perhaps you could ask whoever's in charge if they would be willing to part with a few samples? Okay. He's a little money, so he's worried about getting put in a pie. A rabbit pie. Never actually had a rabbit pie, actually. Oh, what a fine mess this is. What's wrong? Ah, it's you. The one who climbed down the mine shaft. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'd show you around if I could, but I'm rushed off my feet preparing for the exodus. And I'm not the only one. We've all got to find ways to do what we do down here, first on the moon, then on whichever star the form decides will be our new home. It's all so sudden, so unreal. Don't you want to go to the moon? Well, it's better than waiting for the final days to claim us. But no matter how carefully it's all planned, we'll never be able to take every variety of flora and fauna with us. Even the ones we can take may not survive in their new environment. So many species doomed to extinction. Sorry, that's not what you came to talk about, is it? Nothing quite so dire, I assure you. We merely wish to sample a little of your produce, if we may. By all means, help yourself. Much appreciated, my good fellow. So, where to begin? Oh, I know what these are. Grapes, yes? Let's see if they're as delicious as they look. So sweet, so sour. The taste is much like a ripe philosopher's carrot, and yet the texture is entirely different. The contrast between the outer skin and the fruit within is most peculiar, though far from unpleasant. Yes, I think I'll try another. I'll fill up on grapes. Well, that's certainly given me food for thought, though in a far less visceral manner than any philosopher carrot. But tell me, what's your opinion of grapes? I'd brave an erupting volcano for a choice bunch. Meh. Ghastly things, I'd rather eat rancid. Wow, they're not that bad, but I also don't need to brave a volcano for one? I'd say meh. Meh? An expression of indifference, I assume. In all fairness, our compendium did note they are valued more as an ingredient for spirituous beverages rather than a fruit for regular consumption. Anyway, that's enough about grapes for the time being. On to the next treat. Orange by name, orange by nature. What came first, the fruit or the color? Who cares? Let's eat. Yes, that's equal parts sweet and sour, as with the grapes, yet nothing alike. I may have to consult Urianger about expanding my vocabulary. I simply cannot find the words to describe it. Perhaps what I'm looking for is bitter. What, bitter oranges? This is all very complicated, you know. So many flavors, so many choices, and each individual with their own personal preferences. Now I see why you all turned your noses up at the idea of eating nothing but carrots. Marvelously they are in my estimation. Let no one say I said otherwise. But speaking of carrots, I've yet to sample any of the vegetables. Let's see what's in that field over there. You're only tasting like 3 things, though. It's hardly gonna properly inform you on the rest of all existing food. That color, the texture, are they some sort of enormous round carrots? No. No, in any case, proper nomenclature is less of a concern than the taste. Oh, pumpkins. Blech! It's so hard and flavorless, I may as well be chewing a piece of wood. That all but confirms it. These are nothing more than misbegotten failures masquerading as goodly carrots. Stop, can't you see these things are pumpkins? And no one with any sense would try eating them raw. You're supposed to cook them first. Do you not find it an awful bother? Far from it. Cooking is a joy unto itself. And what's more, it broadens the range of ingredients that we may safely eat. Yeah, your name is Cooking Way. You really should get in on that. But above all else, cooking allows us to draw out the full potential of our produce. Pumpkin stew has been one of my favorite dishes for as long as I can remember. And perhaps these hard blocks of plant matter can become as delicious as the orange I sampled. I wonder, though, If there's anything even more delicious, how about that yellow fruit over yonder? Oh, is it a lemon? It's not going to be sweet. Or not the sweet the way you want it. You're going to say it's sour. What a wonderful fragrance. With luck, it'll have a flavor to match. As I have no idea how these are eaten, I'll just bite into it. Ugh. My tongue, is this poison? Lemons aren't that sour, are they? I used to eat them raw, or I used to eat them by themselves. A lemon? You mean it's supposed to taste like this? How can something so similar to an orange be so revolting? Ah, it may be some time before my palate recovers from this ordeal. As such, I'd best call an end to this round of sampling. Let's say our farewells and return to the others. I guess if you never had anything sour before, it might be a bit of a shock to your system. Finished, have you? I trust you found something to your liking. I'm rather enamored with the grapes and the oranges, less so with the pumpkin, though I've learned the hard way they're not to be eaten raw. Then there was the lemon, the deceiver. I feel so violated. First time, was it? I'd hate for you to leave with a bad taste in your mouth, in more ways than one, so I'll give you this lemon muffin I baked. If this doesn't change your mind, or if this doesn't change your opinion, nothing will. More lemon? Have I not suffered enough? Nevertheless, it would be remiss of me to spurn this opportunity to, oof, a bit of sick came up there, to learn more of your inscrutable ways. Very well, Lemon Muffin, do your worst. He's gonna love it, though. It's gonna be tasty. What was that sound? A splat. Oh. This is... delicious! Although I still delect a hint of lemon, it complements the sweetness of the dough to create a perfect harmony. This is like Food Wars or something with a rabbit. I never would have guessed its vile bitterness could be utilized so elegantly. My good chap, this is simply breathtaking. See, we rarely use lemon in its natural state, but it has a starring role in all sorts of recipes, and the same is true for many other ingredients. It comes down to making the most of the resources at our disposal, and sometimes that can even be the difference between life and death. I know we won't be able to take every species with us. No doubt the form agonized over what was worth preserving, and what will be consigned to history. Hard choices, but make them we must if we're to survive. Such strength of will. Now I know what Hydaelyn sees in your kind. Mankind, the Loporrits, we were both born from the accumulated knowledge of the ancients. They learned all there is to learn about the nature of sentient life and the fates of the stars themselves. Once a civilization has fulfilled the basic requirements for survival, it will inevitably seek to eliminate all forms of negativity and achieve perfection. And therein lies its folly and its downfall. For perfection is an unattainable ideal. 'Tis the paradox of the immaculate carrot. Yet civilizations since time immemorial have deemed the pursuit of perfection as progress. They pay no heed to the costs incurred in their futile quest, and all too often become the architects of their own demise, their dreams forever unfulfilled. What then is the alternative? The answer lies in knowing that our existence can never be perfect, to be content with what we have and make the most of it. This is a very deep statement for the viewer as well, I guess. When life gives you lemons, make lemon muffins. Exactly. Pardon my Eorzean, but what in the seven hells are you on about? And who are you, anyway? Now you're asking? Cooking away at your service. I'm here to help prepare for the trip to the moon. And once you get there, you'll be able to try my carrots. I've been growing all different kinds. But don't worry, there'll be room for your crops too. We'll work together to preserve as many of Etheirys' species as possible, if you're up to the challenge. Yes, of course. I look forward to it. Well, this has all been highly productive, probably. Let's go and see if Urianger and the others have run out of machinery to inspect, shall we? You guys will be making nothing but lemon muffins for all the survivors. That was most enlightening, especially the part with the lemon muffins. Actually, I was wondering, do you know any other place famed for their cuisine? I mean, at this place, probably that cafe. The Far East has oodles of noodles. Limsa is home to the Culinarians Guild, and many less than savory establishments. I mean, yeah, Culinarians Guild actually would probably be the best bet overall. Would that I had the time to visit. The more I learn of Etheirys, the more I wish we could spare it from the final days. Alas, Hydaelyn's orders are to flee, not to resist. If only there was some other way. Well, there's a way, all right. Urianger appears to be telling the Loporrits in preparation for imminent departure. Uh-oh. Gaddis, I trust thy time at Morale Ergonomics did bear fruit? Very good, Urianger. Our own efforts, too, were rewarded. We now possess an embarrassment of educational riches. No doubt our guests' relentless pursuit of knowledge could occupy them and us for a fortnight. Alas, time is of the essence. Let us return to Sharlayan Hamlet forthwith. I shall gladly attend to each and every Loporrit there, should further questions within my power to answer arise. Okay? Aww. He wanted more muffins. More food in general. Yes, Gaddis, that was indeed me verbalizing a sigh to express my emotional state. Do you want to know why? Because I saw the reconstructed environmental data for Etheirys and Logisticon Alpha, that's why. A forest so lovely and so leafy. Are all of your forests like that? The Black Shroud is quite leafy indeed, and a place of utmost tranquility. They're verdant, at least. The trees of Dravania stand particularly proud. You should see the forest of the first. One was purple. I kind of like suggesting the purple. Gasp! Gasp, I say! With the stars so wonderful, it comes as no surprise that you're reluctant to leave it behind. I was a fool to think otherwise, to assume that the moon was something worth being proud of. Aww, you guys tried hard. How ridiculous we must seem to you, trying so hard yet achieving so little. Oh. Not at all. Thy works are no less worthy for their uniqueness. I thought I heard tiny voices. Thancred. How didst thou fare? Oh, I was able to glean a fair bit from the researchers while helping to move their cargo. Preparations have proceeded without interruption here, despite news of the coming end. We have the Forum's leadership to thank for that. That doesn't mean people aren't worried, though. Quite the opposite. Knowing disaster could strike at any moment, they hurried to complete their work, equally aware that a single error could be the difference between life and death. We can hardly tell them there's no cause for concern. Perhaps not. Though aided by our goodly growing way, we may yet find other ways to lighten their burden. Me? Be of use to people? I'm honored that you think me so capable, but I'm not sure I'm up to the challenge. Nevertheless, I believe in thee. If you say so, I suppose it can't hurt to try. I passed someone moping in the Western Plaza that looked to be in need of a helping paw. Perhaps you might start with him? "'Tis as good a place as any. Come." Alright, you guys go have fun. Are you expecting me to... God damn it, I have to come too. Ugh. Oh, can I help you? Maybe we can help you. It is you who would help me? Is my anxiety truly so obvious? A burden shared is a burden eased. Pray, tell us of thy troubles. Those little fellows do look like good listeners. I'm an engineer, you see, and what they say of the ship, that it's the sum of decades of Sharlayan ingenuity, that it's built with peerless Allagan technology, is all true, but... I know that none of that's a guarantee. We've never before launched a star-faring vessel, let alone flown it in the great expanse. All the tests we've run have been on the ground. Only operational personnel and cargo will be aboard for the first voyage, but even so, if it fails us then, what can we do? And if it doesn't, it could fall apart on the next flight or the one after that. We've done everything we can to prevent that from happening, but it hardly matters. We thought the ether burner's design was flawless too, and look how that turned out. Thou art familiar with these most daunting technologies, and thus dost thou hold the power to allay his fears. Oh, I'm not sure about that, but well... Maybe you could tell me if there are any aspects of the ship's design that you're especially worried about? Our ability to walk around and perform our tasks, for one. I devised a means by which to employ gravity, a spatio-temporal spell, to regulate the environment. But what if it's not strong enough? What if everyone floats away and begins crashing into things as soon as we left the star? Ah, gravitation. Maybe I can be of help after all. Up there is not so different from down here, you see. The same rules apply. And if you consider them as part of one great big cosmos rather than separate pieces... Oh, they've made friends. I suspect both parties shall find comfort in this conversation. Yet if Thancred's tale be true, still others would benefit from insights born of experience. Might I prevail upon the Loporrits to attend them? An excellent idea, if I do say so myself. There's naught we'd like more than to ease the hearts of the fine people of Etheirys, and learn more about them while we're at it. Full glad am I to hear it. Gather thy companions and bring them hither. Gaddis, thou hast a gift for finding souls in need of succor. Pray seek thee out the distressed and the apprehensive, and inform them that help is at hand. Oh, I shall await them here, that I might introduce each to a suitable Loporrit. Oh, I do so look forward to that. A place for every Loporrit, and every Loporrit in their place. Oh, 8? 8 fucking people? Man, these fetch questy things are kind of annoying. If it was like 3, sure, but 8? 8. Okay. Concerns? Nay, there's no point in worrying at this stage. You'll only make the work go that much slower. This woman seems to be coping well. Oh, okay, so... Wait, and that doesn't count towards the 8? I got maintenance in 20 minutes. I need to get through this quest. Apologies, but I'm awaiting a delivery. Whatever it is, we'll have to wait. He's too busy to chat for his benefit otherwise. Oh my god. How many fucking people do I need to talk to here? Okay, singing a song. Eep, I'm not neglecting my duties, I swear. I was in need of a little break, you see, but then I found myself unable to relax at all, so I went on a walk, and then I noticed these weeds, and yeah, you could use a Loporrit. How about you get one? Pleasant conversation partners, and oh so fuzzy! Goodness me, that does sound like a much better way to relax. Okay. Oh, 7 more. What the hell are these people? Blasted assistants? Where have they gone off to at a time like this? Beg pardon, but I have not the time for idle chit-chat. I need to reconfirm that ether levels are consistent throughout the vessel's machinery, and it seems I shall have to do it single-handedly, I swear, when I find those assistants of mine. The Loporrits are willing to help? Why didn't you say so? At least they won't moan about how they checked 24 times already and haven't slept in weeks. Lazy sods. You sounded like an asshole. My face? What's wrong with my owl? Perhaps I am a bit tense. I was tasked with ensuring that proper fauna, and only the proper fauna, are brought with us to the moon. However, the suitability of a few species is still under debate, and I can hardly make the decision myself when I know so little about the environment up there. Including the Loporrits in our discussion is a wonderful idea. I absolutely will, thank you. Perhaps their biology itself might offer some clue as well. You idiot! Have you seen an envelope lying around? You calling me a fucking idiot? You want to die? This imbecile refuses to give me the alchemic I ordered without that bloody slip of parchment. What is all this? Oh, unless your friends have a spell to make me remember where I dropped my damned envelope, I doubt they'll be more help than you, and you've wasted enough of my time already. Fuck you! Ugh! Some people. Aha! The end of the world is nigh, yet the work goes no faster. Schedules are such temperamental things, feasible one moment or bollocks the next. And yet I've never felt so alive. This is an insane person. Okay, this one is beyond help, only sleep can save her now. Yeah, eternal sleep if you don't get your shit together. What am I thinking about? The medical facilities on the ship, of course. I designed them with assistance of our sages and chirurgeons, but to imagine every illness or injury that one might face in that great expanse is beyond any of us. To say nothing of the effects that living out there indefinitely might have on the body. Yeah, you lose your muscle mass and some other shit. It's pretty weird. The crew from the moon, why did I not think of that? Anything bothering me? Well, I've been loading cargo for bells now, so my back feels like a void sense played it as a piano. My feet and knees are drums and cymbals too. It's fine in need of a break. God damn it. Oh, I hate this quest. Just leave me to my misery. The forum can appoint someone else. I apologize. I simply don't know what to do. How am I supposed to pilot the Ark if I'm already falling apart under pressure? Get a new pilot, maybe. You know a starship pilot I might speak with, truly? Well then, there's no time to waste. They can help me prepare for this monumental task. Oh god, there's still 3 to go. Where is everybody? Okay, ... Consult our collaborators. I suppose that'd be more effective than sitting here brooding. I'm attempting to calculate how much cargo we can consolidate into fewer trips, should the ether burner make our original estimates unfeasible. But there's simply too many variables. I feel as if my brow will turn inside out. But perhaps our lunar associates will have more insight into how much weight constitutes too much weight for our purposes. Thank you for letting me know. Sure. Oh Christ, 2 more. Just 2 more. How might I help you? Ah, my, what a lovely idea. I too noticed people becoming rather tense, so I rushed out to pluck some fresh and fragrant tea leaves. Now I need only to track down 100 or so cups. But don't you worry, I can manage. I hope you plan to cheer everyone up as well. This woman is doing better than you are. Okay, that's kind of funny. It'd be funnier if I didn't have to do 8 of these things. This guy's calm, so they probably don't need one. Worries, worries. No, I believe I'm fine, thank you. I've been confiding in my colleagues and it's helped a lot. Can't recommend it enough. Okay. Thanks for nothing, goddammit. Have you heard anything of what's on the moon? I have no doubt that we can make it up there, but the searching for a new star part of the plan sounds awfully vague to me. I asked the forum, but they'll only tell us that our collaborators have everything under control. Forgive me, but I don't feel particularly safe wandering on the sea of stars on God's knows what made by God's knows who. You mean to say that I can speak with them directly? Amazing! I hope they like questions. Oh my god, this is gonna take forever to find this last person, isn't it? Oh please, please be the right person. Hyperventilating, that's good. They probably need help. By the gods, my chest is tight. Am I dying? Is this what dying feels like? Oh my god, it is a panic attack. You have a panic attack. Oh, do pardon me. I didn't see you there. There's no cause for concern, I assure you. No cause for concern, even though we may need to depart at any moment, and if the hull I designed buckles under the strain, the entire vessel may explode on launch, claiming countless lives and dooming all mankind. But that is highly unlikely. Yes, highly unlikely. Highly. I think you need a Prozac. Our visitors can help me triple check for structural flaws, you say? Why, that would be wonderful. I'm breathing far more easily already. Oh, thank God it's over. Urianger, where are you? Get me out of here. Behold, goddess, through thine efforts word hath spread throughout Labyrinthos. Verily, to a far greater number than we anticipated. Livingway doth gather more Loporrits as we speak. I shall assign each in accordance with their skills, that new bonds of friendship might be forged. Should greater matters require not thine attentions, watch over them, I prithee. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I just have to wait. I can do that. A bunny a day keeps the final days away, right? Right.
Phew! Oh, finally some rest! Why, I haven't spoken so much in forever.
Lively, isn't it? The town is abuzz. Everyone eager to meet with our friends from the moon.
'Twould behoove you to consult with Sleepingway. As our moon's pilot, his advice should be most pertinent.
If you can wake him up first.
I'm impressed. Truth be told, I struggle to tell one from another. No offense intended, of course.
None taken. After you and your friends left Mare Elementorum, we spent no small amount of time with your Urianger. Oh, the conversations we had. He told us all about Etheirys, answered our every question, no matter how trifling or trivial.
He does love a good conversation.
Look! Every page filled to the margins with knowledge. When I first arrived, I was struck by how little I knew. It was daunting. But then I realized that were it not for Urianger and his teachings, we'd still be stuck on the moon, gazing at your world and wondering what we've been missing.
Aww. I like that. He's always so helpful. And cute. Oh, maybe he agrees.
What would they think if they could see Urianger now? I dare say they'd be more than a bit surprised. And impressed, no doubt.
They?
Master Louisoix, Minfilia, Papalimo, and not to forget.
Oh. He still never saw her parents to tell them. I wonder if he'll ever get the chance.
Oh there! Heard there was a visiting expert who we might bother with a few questions. I take it you'd be the one.
Wait, Wilfsunn, is that... Was that the name of Moenbryda's dad? Oh my god!
Yes, I am.
Oh my god, this is probably gonna make me cry. Fuck.
Wilfsunn and Bloewyd, Sharlayan's foremost researchers in the field of teleportation magic, and Moenbryda's parents.
Oh my god.
It hath been some time. 'Tis good to see you in good health.
Oh, Urianger, God.
Likewise, old friend. Bloewyd and I were most honored to answer the call. Never expected this reunion, though, did we, dear?
I'll say, the nerve. Sending that letter, then running off to the gods know where.
Oh. 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 Oh.
Do you have any idea how worried we were?
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
'Twas remiss of me not to deliver the news in person.
Oh, poor guy.
No, more than that. 'Twas I who...
Oh.
Our daughter was disillusioned after Master Louisoix left her behind. The day the Scions called upon her was the happiest I'd seen her in years. She made her every choice of her own free will. No one could have ever forced her to do otherwise.
Yeah.
Don't blame yourself for her death. Celebrate her life. You know that's what she'd want.
Oh, God.
If there is one thing we resent you for, it was that we could not be there to mourn her with you.
Oh.
Reading the words you penned in that shaky hand, we must have cried as much for you as we did for her.
God. Just hug her. You know you want to.
I'm sorry. I truly, truly am. I knew not what to say. Knew not how to express my feelings. The poems and platitudes of wiser men, musings on sadness and loss, studied and memorized, and meaningless in the moment.
Silly boy. We are all powerless before such grief. Even now, try as I might, the words escape me. But in our hearts, we know. We always know.
I remember when you were young, how the lads teased you for choosing the company of books over others. Our moon didn't take kindly to that. Be nice to Urianger, she'd shout, and give them a walloping. No matter how many times we scolded her.
Oh.
So we offered a suggestion. Rather than starting fights, why don't you be the bridge between Urianger and the others? She had to mull it over for a while, arms crossed, brow furrowed in intense thought. But from that day on, she never let you be alone. She'd drag you outside to play, pepper you with endless questions, read the same books you read, all to try and understand you that much better.
Oh.
I'm sure it was annoying and exhausting at the time, but she only ever had the best of intentions.
No, I think he liked it. I can tell he liked it.
And look at you now, at the center of the crowd. The reason there even is a crowd, having brought these people together.
Oh god, is he gonna cry? Couldn't be any worse than me right now.
You've no idea how proud we are.
Oh.
To see the boy, our daughter, trusted and believed in more than anyone, grow into the man she always knew he could be. I can see her in you too. Feel her. She walks with you wheresoever you go. So thank you, Urianger, for being who you are.
Oh. No.
I think
Oh.
I can feel her too.
Oh.
The truth of her life. Not sorrow, but hope and love.
Oh.
This Moenbryda. She was important to him, wasn't she?
Oh, yeah.
You could ask the man himself.
Oh, no. But watching this exchange reminds me how much I've yet to learn about your world. And its people.
You can live here your entire life and hardly learn a thing. And that's why it's too soon for this to end.
Yeah. Oh. That was so sweet. Oh. God damn it. Oh no, maybe this is about to happen. Fuck. Okay, I'll continue this in a minute. Oh boy, okay. Now, maintenance hit me like literally 30 seconds after that cutscene, so it's been actually about a day. And I've been processing that last cutscene that I saw, and I'm still almost getting choked up just thinking about it. And before I finished the quest with Urianger, I don't know, not that I had revelations about him, but I think something really interesting about this this expansion has been fixating on people we haven't really had a chance to really get to know. I mean, yes, we've seen Urianger in the previous expansions. Yes, he's had his ulterior motives, that kind of thing. But he's always been painted in a certain way. And, I gotta try not to cry. It was really something seeing him vulnerable like that. The last time we truly saw him vulnerable was when Moenbryda died, and kind of again when he was talking up at the night sky while he was pretending to be working with the bad guys, lamenting like, oh, Moenbryda, this path that I'm on, you know, it's like a path to ruin for myself. And I think he's such an interesting character in that despite his deception, or maybe because of it, like, I think he might be one of the most pure people on the Scions. And, my God, staring down at the parents. I think that's because his whole history, he's thought of himself, and I know he's thought of himself as like an outlier, as an outsider. Yes, he's part of the Scions, but, you know, with the way he talks and the way he carries himself and that sort of thing, maybe it's always been like a protective bubble for him because he's afraid to let people too close because maybe he thinks he's not worth it. There's been many times where he said, even when he talked to Reen, saying like, you know, I'll regret the things I've done to my dying day. It's things that he did almost like self-sacrificial. Like he knew he would be painted as the villain every time he lied to his friends. But the only reason why he lied to his friends, I'm gonna get emotional here. The only reason why he lied to his friends was because he cared about them and he was doing it for everyone else. And his feeling clearly was, I don't matter, but everybody else does. So if they all think I'm the worst piece of shit imaginable, that's okay because it helped them. And I'm so glad we stopped him from once again going down that same path, this time on the moon, and he opened up, and that shows a lot of character progression. Sorry, I'm still trying to like keep myself together because now I'm working myself back up to being sad about it. But I think so much of it, and so much of this expansion has been opening up characters to realize, like, they can trust in one another. There's so much built up, so much background with one another, so much love, as he said about Moenbryda, where he was afraid to embrace it. He always felt guilty and responsible for it, but it wasn't his fault. You know, he was, you know, through no fault of his own, all those things happened. And he probably took on way too much responsibility and assumed like he should have been able to do something about it, but he couldn't. He's just, you know, one man. And I think that goes a long way to show just how good and like pure of a person is. How much other people, despite his little quirks, gravitate towards him. All the bunnies, all these other people that had gathered, like, they respect him and believe in him. And I don't think he believed enough in himself to think that he was worthwhile because of that. And it hits really hard to see him initially assume the worst, that the parents would hate him. But truly, like, they loved him so much, like as much as their own daughter. And, sorry. It's really powerful, and I think it's incredible what Ishikawa and the writing team has done just in a small scene like this. Like, it probably shouldn't have affected me if I was just watching it, or maybe I wasn't as wussy about it. I wouldn't have reacted the same way, but I did, because through all these expansions and seeing what he's been going through separately and all these other signs have been going through, they feel almost like real people. You know, they have their own hopes and fears and, you know, goals and aspirations, and to see him grow even in just the span of this expansion is really, really amazing. And I was always afraid, you know, him being Ellison, and sometimes certain Ellison characters get the short end of the stick. I thought, you know, he's a great supporting character, but, you know, Thancred, etc., will, Y'shtola will always get, like, the lion's share of the attention. But I've been so happy this expansion and seeing these little hints of, like, just as if Ishikawa was just pushing him a little bit more to the front each time, going like, no, he's important too. He's a Scion. He matters. And I don't know, it was really touching. Really very touching. Let's see if I can get my voice sounding normal again, because I can feel it just wavering up and down while I'm still thinking about the whole scene. And granted, again, this is a whole day after maintenance, and I'm still feeling this way. And I think that's to the credit of the narrative team, that they've created fictional characters once again that tug at your heartstrings and really make you feel something for them and worry for them. I honestly felt, and this will be the last thing I say before I continue, I thought he was, well, there's still a lot that could happen, but even up to this point, I thought something bad was going to happen to him. I thought he was going to be like the sacrificial character in this. but it feels like the opposite. It feels like they want to raise him up, and not as a bait and switch, because there's other stories, other games where I would feel more afraid at this point to have a scene like this happen and then just instantly know he's fucking dead. He's dead. I will be extremely sad if, I get to level 90 and finish and he does die, but there's something different. There's really, really something different about this story for Endwalker, where they wrap everything in this, like, horrible things are happening in the story, don't get me wrong, but they wrap it in this, like, protective blanket of, like, love, and, like, how they reinforce to trust in people and have faith in people, and that, more than once, they've said, we're here for you. You don't have to do this alone. And I remember being fucking shattered in Shadowbringers and going through so much shit and feeling like myself, like the Warrior of Light or Darkness or whatever, was just having to everything weigh so heavy on his shoulders. And it's strange that this expansion, regardless of all the things, the horrible things that have happened, feels like the opposite. Every time you feel like I'm taking the burden of this myself, characters come in and say, no, let me share it with me. Like, even the Link Shell conversation they said earlier, all these random characters you totally forgot about or thought maybe weren't important, they come back and they say, no, let's help. It's like the fucking spirit bomb in Dragon Ball, where it's like, I'm Goku and I'm holding up this ball and I think I have to do it all myself. But even these small NPCs and surrounding characters come in and say, no, here, my energy too. Take my energy too, because I am there with you. And, God, it's such a powerful, powerful feeling. I just never thought I'd, like, in a fucking MMO, I never thought I'd feel that way. I felt that way maybe like reading a book or playing like a single player game, but there's just something so unusual about this whole game as a whole that it's been like a roller coaster ride of emotions ever since ARR, even minorly from 1.0 that set the stage for all this stuff. And I'm just never going to forget it. I'm not done with the quests yet, but I just know I'm never going to forget it. And I'm so happy to be playing it. Anyway, gonna wipe my eyes, and I'm gonna continue on with this quest. Let me just pause for just a second and reacquaint myself so I can stop, like, fucking half sobbing into the microphone. Okay, recomposed. Now let's continue. Oh, goddess, be assured that I am fine. I am... Aww. Full glad to see them too, after so very long. Gladder still that it was in your company. As difficult as it was to accept their kindness, it would have been far harder had I faced them alone. You're a good guy, Urianger. You're such a fucking good guy. Thank you, and thank you for these shoes. Let's talk to the parents real quick before we continue. Oh, you must be one of the Scions, correct? Thank you for caring for my daughter. The time she spent with you was all too short. But no, I know she was proud to have you as comrades. Urianger is too, I'm sure. And I certainly feel better for knowing that he has good friends to look after him. See that he comes home from time to time, will you? Classic Rogadin isn't so different from your... Oh, this is separate, I guess. I thought he was going to do a sob story too. Classical Rogadin isn't so different from Eorzean. Did you ever wonder why we named our daughter Moon's Bride? Oh? Yes, please tell me. When I first held her, the moon was shining, silver and full. The whole world seemed to glow. I knew it had chosen her, that she would be a beacon of that selfsame light. Of course, we'd later hear our fair share of jokes about how we ought to have gone for Sun instead, with how bright and stubborn she was. But fiery as my Moenbryda was, she always was kind and gentle. Wait, Moenbryda, is that like a... Okay, I'm sure that's a coincidence, and I'm sure Ishikawa was very clever about connecting it, but I think it's very interesting of the thematic element of the moon for this expansion, and actually managing to fold back in the relevance of Moenbryda into this expansion. Like, fucking chef's kiss, grade AA fucking writing. Like, amazing. Just overall, just amazing. Okay. Next quest. Hither and Yarns? Ahem. Thou hast my gratitude for lending courage to the Loporrits. Oh, is my friend gonna interrupt me and start hugging me? No, thank you. Not disposed to rest on their laurels, several of our guests have elected to accompany my countrymen to their stations. Some few may still come hither seeking counsel, and so shall I remain to aid them as need be. If thou art needed elsewhere, do not let me detain thee. As a matter of fact, I was hoping you might check in on Alize. Last I saw, she was struggling to carry an enormous pile of boxes out the west gate. I could go myself, but we both know whose help she's less likely to scorn. Oh, sorry, Thancred. Not to mention that, much to my misfortune, I could think of several other things I ought to be doing. Until later. Yes, until later. What are you gonna do, Urianger? Pray assist Mistress Alize. She hath taken up too great a burden, like as not. Livingway and I shall attend to matters here. You got it, buddy. Anything for you. But before I head off, I gotta give you a hug, buddy. Give you the biggest fucking hug! Oh, I wish I could hug better than that. How about comfort? Comfort? There. You'll get over it. We all will. Oh, I'm actually taller than you. I never noticed that. Huh. Okay, see you later. Hey, Alize, what's up? Gaddis, what are you doing out here? No, I don't mind if you help with the boxes, but it's far from the most exciting of tasks. Are you sure? Well, I appreciate the assistance. We need to get these to Aporia. Time is short, of course, but they're full of organic specimens and samples, so try not to be too rough with them. Alphino should be waiting for us when we arrive. I'll see you there. 3 minutes to complete the oh, crap. Okay. Can't just teleport there, because that would be too easy. What the hell? Okay, that's not that far. Hopefully something doesn't aggro me. Got a very silly run with this box. What is that? Is that a fucking fate? Okay, it's not activated. Thank goodness. If this thing was activated, this place would be crawling with these stupid monsters, and then I'd probably get, like, attacked and drop the box. Okay. Hey, Alphino. Oh, you're helping with the crates. Wonderful. You can put that there with the others. You have my gratitude, but how did you come to be involved in this? Alize needed some help? Ha! Then I suppose I have Thancred to thank as well. If you're wondering why we were tasked with bringing these boxes to Aporia to begin with, so was I. It turns out this is a base of operations of sorts. Those with final say as to what is included in the ship's manifest can be found here. Oh, these are guys making the priority decisions, huh? Father included, I suspect. Oh, somebody in that box? Oh, thought something was trying to come out of the crate. That should be everything. You carried all of that at once? Are you trying to injure yourself? Yeah, you're a very tiny frame. Oh, hush, they're lighter than they look, and not everyone has your delicate arms. I mean, you guys have like identical arms, right? They look that way. I suppose we should let someone know that we finished. Theopoldin is in the courtyard. We can report to him. Why don't you come along? You should get credit for your assistance at the least. I just carried one box, though. That's fine. Considering where we are, we might even learn something interesting. Gods, it never ends, does it? What can I do for you? We brought samples from the Sharlayan hamlet. Series 110? The crates are by the entrance. Ah, thank you. I had expected one of my colleagues, but we are dreadfully short-handed. Just a moment. You're Fourchenault's children, are you not? Fourchenault and Alizé at your service. You're well acquainted with father, I take it. Quite. I've been friends with your parents since our days at the studium. I remember when you were yay high, waddling hither and thither. Clearly, it's been quite some time since we've met. 'Tis good to see you again, wielding your father's newliths? That's what those are called, newliths, no less. You knew our parents when they were young? What were they like? Pray, spare no detail. I should like nothing more than to regale you. Alas, I am meant to be in charge here, and reams of paperwork want for submission. We can help with that, in exchange for the sort of stories our parents would never willingly divulge, of course. Very well then. There happen to be 3 sets of documents in need of delivery, so how about you each take one? Wait, right there. Wait, what? Didn't you say 3 documents? Oh, god damn it. I thought I almost got out of doing another fetch quest. You will find a forum representative waiting to collect these near the southernmost structure. I hope I haven't kept her waiting too long. Never mind Fourchenault and Alizé. I'm certain they will be back soon enough. Are you not one of the Scions of the 7th Dawn? I thought you were meant to be working on the Aether Burner. Yeah, we really should be. Theopoldin's paperwork. I was beginning to worry he had misplaced his quill. Or his quill. I appreciate your help in seeing these documents to my hands at last. As for your other task. What other task? I thought it was just that. Pray keep this between us, but I sincerely hope you Scions succeed. Okay, thank you. The Exodus is without a doubt the most monumental undertaking in the history of the Forum, and so we must be circumspect in all respects. Risk is a privilege we cannot afford ourselves. At its heart, however, Sharlayan has ever been a nation of the curious. It would be a tragedy indeed if we were the ones to stymie your pursuit of the truth. Thanks. Quick and efficient, I dare say you have a talent for this work. I mean, people make me do it all the time. The twins' papers only needed to be delivered to elsewhere in the facility, so they should be returning any moment. Any moment. We return with not a scrap of paperwork remaining in our persons, you'll note. You both have my thanks, and my apologies for sending on an errand so far below your ambitions. Why, even as a babe, you struggled out of your swaddling clothes, and... That is quite enough of that, thank you. It was compromising stories of our parents that we wanted to hear, to reiterate. Ha ha ha. What is on your ear? Of course, of course. I've known your father for so long, I must have something. Well, as you know, part of why the Levailleur name garners such respect in Sharlayan is your family's storied history. You two can trace your ancestry directly to those who came aboard Nyencrup's Hope, a lineage very few can claim. I've never thought much of it myself. It's not as though our forebears founded our nation. They were simply there when it happened. Nevertheless, it has traditionally been a point of pride. 'Tis why Nyencrup's pronouncement, "Renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason," has ever been our family's creed. Until your grandfather's time, aye. Archon Louisoix looked not to Nyencrup's words, but his deeds. He asserted, in defiance of his peers, that choosing to save the great and small from the rising tides was the true mark of our founder's virtue. Perhaps it was his expertise, his knowledge of ancient prophecy and the fall of civilizations, that led him to conclude that to eschew conflict at every turn was to consign mankind to his doom. Yeah, that sounds pretty apt and accurate. There will ever be conflict, and calamity will follow, thus... One more, I should have like a tally for how many times we hear this phrase. To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. You remember his words well. Indeed, Archon Louisoix lived by that personal creed, and used every means at his disposal to bring succor to those in need, Sharlayan or no. No one loved and admired your grandfather more than his son. Yet Fourchenault could not reconcile Louisoix's deeds with the philosophy of their forebears and his peers, a philosophy in which he believed so fervently, yet he made a pariah of his father. Fourchenault agonized over this contradiction for much of his life. God's father. A son must always carry his father's blood, but his choices are his own to bear. Is it not always thus? Gods know Fourchenault's a cranky old goat, so I'm sure you butt heads often enough. Yet even so, you must know that you are constantly in his thoughts, every moment of every day, and that is not an exaggeration in the slightest. Well, how does this random guy know, though? Fourchenault doesn't really seem like the type to divulge his feelings to other people, but I guess this is the helpful narrator in this case. You should have seen him when you were born. Barely recognizable he was, with a kind of dumbfounded grin I'd not seen since he first took a fancy to your mother. He was practically skipping when he told me the news. You know, I don't think we're gonna get it, but I would love to see a big, wide, goofy grin on his face before the end of this expansion. Take my word for it, he loves you to an embarrassing degree. Yeah, why the disowning then? But he's also frustratingly single-minded. Once he's decided that a given action is the best, he will stay the course no matter who or what opposes him. A profoundly annoying habit when you're on the other end of it, I'm sure you'll agree. I'll say. Thank you for your insight. When next we meet our parents, I shall mention that we spoke. Try not to get me in too much trouble now. I need the forum on my side. Speaking of which, I ought to get back to work. I have to make sure those specimens you brought make it to their proper places, or the cranky old goat will have my hide. Old goat? How old is Fourchenault? Whatever. We can speak later. Hail, you three! Hey, Grawha. Grawha, surely Kokol hasn't driven you out of the forge already. For better or worse, no. However, he has sent me a task that requires more than my single pair of hands, and here you are. I could use at least one of you, but I wonder which one that will be, but I won't object to more. Unfortunately, Alize and I have prior commitments, and we have delayed too long as it is. So... what about you, Gaddis? Can you spare the time? Sure. Perfect. This shouldn't take long. Famous last words. Once forged. In the event that our, and I quote, promised heap of adamantite falls right out of the bloody sky and into my lap, Master Kokol wishes to be ready to put the proverbial hammer to anvil at a moment's notice. To fabricate these parts, however, he needs the flames in Kokol's forge to burn hotter. He sent me to increase the amount of ether being funneled to his furnaces. The flow of fire-aspected ether in Labyrinthos is regulated by an elemental reactor source, south of here, to which I have borrowed the key. The adjustment will require 2 people to carry out safely, but I can explain the process when we arrive. Alright. This is the part where this is where we part then. We'll see you in Sharlayan Hamlet once the adamantine arrives, if not before. This way, then. The reactor is housed within this facility. I'll be the one to go inside and adjust the fire ether output. When I do, a rather large amount of water-aspected ether will issue from the vent at the top. I expect this to attract at least a few elementals, which we would both rather not be drawn into the reactor core itself. Trust me. Can I ask that you put down any that draw too near? They'll pose you a little trouble, I'm sure. You got it. Wait here if you would. Well, I said wait here, but I'm going down the steps anyway. Did everything go smoothly out here? Yep. I thought as much. No major complications to speak of inside either. And the water ether appears to be venting properly. I expect Coco will have seen a difference in his forge flames by the time I return. Since I have you, there was another matter I thought to discuss with you. Nothing terribly important, merely something I've been considering. Oh, music stop? Part of this I shared with everyone, yet you and only you have been to Elpis. Yeah? As we have established, refined adamantite is a product of Allag, of the Empire's twilight years, in fact. It was a material which saw much use as part of the Allagan's effort to extend beyond the bounds of this world, Dalamud, of course, being the most prominent. Of those who would push further, expand Allag's empire to encompass the heavens and the stars above, perhaps the greatest was its infamous technologist, Amon. Oh yeah, we know all about Amon. Amon wanted to travel the Sea of Stars? Yeah. Did he remember his life as Hermes? I believe he had his own reasons. There's no evidence to suggest that he retained memories of his former life. He only joined the Ascians once the Empire was all but dust, as you know. If not his memory, though, what drove him to pursue the idea with such fervor? This may seem far-fetched, but what if souls like minds have a personality, so to speak, a natural disposition towards which they are inclined? We know with relative certainty that it was the gross decadence and inexorable decline of Allag that moved Amon to resurrect Emperor Zand. The Empire's people spoke lightly of death and destruction, experimenting on those they deemed beneath them to fill the emptiness in their hearts. In facilitating Zand's return, Amon provided these languid souls with the means to free themselves from the mire of their own indolence. Or would have, had not Zand been convinced by his own death that life itself was meaningless. Amon's desire for his countrymen to conquer the heavens could only be a means to the same end, to instill the people with a new purpose. Like Hermes before him, Amon was appalled by how those around him lived, but he could never bring himself to believe that those lives were devoid of meaning. And both of them sought that meaning, that hope, in the distant stars. Such is my theory, anyway. Ultimately, it is the consequences of their actions which matter. Their motives are of no moment, and yet... To reach those stars on wings of adamantite, to travel to the ends of creation beyond, the promise of hope everlasting. That much I do understand. But enough musing for now. Why don't we see how Coco is getting on?